Hey guys, Josh Mabe here, back with M&H Training, and today we're starting off with it's going to be a new segment for M&H Training. I'm trying to get the structure of the channel to something more I connect to. So rather than just being like random videos here and there, random reviews, random everything, I want to get a structure for the channel. So starting today, I want to do a thing called Sundays on the Range. So I'm going to be doing a video every Sunday just out here on the range, talking, doing gun reviews, doing product reviews, telling stories. If I don't have a new firearm, I'll grab one of my old firearms. We'll talk about it for a little bit, but mostly I just want to hang out. So kind of like some buddies just out on the range having a fun day of shooting, talking, and everything else. You're going to hear my chickens in the background like always, because my range is right beside where I keep all my chickens. I have 30-40 laying hens over here, get a lot of fresh eggs, sell a lot of eggs. I've got some roosters over here. You'll hear a lot of crowing. I just like having chickens. It's the good life out here in the middle of the country. But I just felt like some of my other videos, while I like them, I go through all of the stuff with the firearms. They don't seem personal, they seem generic, and I just want to get more back to a conversation style video. I don't want to pretend to be something I'm not. I'm a overweight redneck guy that likes firearms and wants to talk about them. I teach concealed carry classes for North Carolina. I teach basic handgun for NRA. I don't have any kind of military history. I've never claimed to be something I'm not. I don't claim to be an operator. I'm not an expert on everything, but I have a good general knowledge on firearms. I have been to school for gunsmithing, a couple years for that, so I'm a certified gunsmith. Like I said, certified for North Carolina for teaching concealed carry, certified with the NRA to teach basic handgun. So I am a actual firearms instructor. Does that mean I know everything? No, it does not. It does what worked for me, work for everyone. The basics, yes. Individual things, no. I might tell you the proper way to hold a firearm. The absolute perfect grip. You may have shot guns for 10 years, do something completely different, and you might outshoot me every time. All I'm going to go over is what works for me, what works if you're just getting started out, how to get a proper form, how to properly do everything. After that, I mean, everybody has their own quirks. Some people do not like putting their finger on the outside of a trigger guard with a handgun. Some people like it right over here. That's the proper grip. I don't like putting my finger up there. Some do. To each their own. If you could shoot and hit the target, I don't care how you hold the gun. As long as it's comfortable for you, you shoot, and it is not a safety issue. So like I said, I don't know everything. I know the basics, and that's what I try to teach, is the basics. Maybe, I'm sure there's people in the comment that know more than I do. I'm sure there's other channels that know more than I do. I'm just not trying to be flashy. I just like talking to y'all and sharing what I love, and what I love is firearms. So what we're going to do, as I said, is going to be Sundays on the range. That's going to be a new thing every Sunday. Even if I don't have something new, I'll grab a gun off my shelf. We're going to talk about firearms. I want y'all to comment. I love talking to y'all in the comments. I love hearing new perspectives. If you think I'm the biggest fool that's ever set foot in front of a camera, tell me in the comments. I want to hear about it. Sometimes it makes absolutely no sense and gives me a good laugh, but good comment, bad comment, I'll respond to almost all of them. You might teach me something in the comments too. I'm not above saying I was wrong on something. But anyway, I just want the main thing to be, everything I do on here is going to be honest. I'm not going to tell y'all something that I don't believe. I'm not going to teach y'all something that I don't think will work for you. If a product doesn't work good, I'm going to say it doesn't work good. If it has issues, you're going to see those issues. If somebody wants to do a free product to me, for example, GoUtar has sent me free products. Even if the product is sent to me for free, it's going to be an honest review. If anything, if somebody says they'll send me something and I don't like it and tell them I didn't like it, worst case scenario, I'm not even going to do a video on it. Either way, I am not going to be dishonest. I'm not going to tell you a product is great when it actually sucks. I'm not going to be brand loyal as far as when it comes to if something sucks or doesn't. Yes, I like Glock. I'm a little biased toward Glock. But if a Glock fails on me, you will see it on the channel. I guarantee you, it will not be cut. If another gun outperforms my favorite Glocks, you will see it on the channel. Am I better with Glocks than I am other firearms? For the most part, yes. That being said, I've picked up some other guns that I shot much better than Glock, such as a Staccato, such as a Springfield, the Emissary 1911. Shot it way better than I do a Glock as far as accuracy. I've shot Canics better than I did Glock, but I still like Glock. There was a lot of people in the comments for those Glock videos, verses and everything. They were calling you just a Glock fanboy. Are you just picking Glock over this? You're just trashing SIG. I never trashed anything. I said I think the SIG is as good as the Glock. I think they're on par with each other. I don't know that one's better than the other. I know I shoot a Glock better than I shoot SIG. To me, that's all that matters. What I can shoot the best, what I feel the most confident in. And it's the same thing for you. If you feel more confident with SIG than you do a Glock and your shooting abilities with either one, by all means, that's what I want you to pick. This channel's about being honest, and that's what we're doing. So for these Sundays on the range video, all we're going to do on those is we're just going to talk. I'm going to tell you about stuff I like doing. We're going to talk about, just for example, in this video, I know it's took me a little bit to get to it, but I wanted to talk about my Uberti. This is a Uberti Cimarron recreation of the 1866 Yellow Boy. Now, this is a flashy gun. I'm hoping I'm not blinding y'all with the reflection there. You can see the beautiful wood on the stock. You can see the nice brass there on the receiver. That long octagon barrel. This particular one is in 45 Long Colt. And I was always a big fan of Westerns growing up. So there's been countless times watching Westerns when this gun pops up on screen, and I just always thought it was a beautiful gun. I love the way it's got the low drop with your stock, so your chin kind of sits on the stock more so than just down here your cheek like you do with a lot of guns. I like that high rest. I like how my palm fits right under that brass receiver. Get a good rest. This gun is very accurate. Everything is still old school, just with a little better materials nowadays. But yeah, she is a beauty. I'd wanted one of these for the longest time, and not only is it about a historic gun, which this improved greatly. As you know, the models before this did not have a fore-end. It was just a straight tube. It also was fed up here. It was not fed by the loading gate back here. And it had an open spring design under here, which if you're holding like this under here and not careful, you go to lever it, that skin can get caught in there. It hurts. Other stuff can get caught in there. Dirt can get in there. It worked fine, but it was definitely an upgrade when Winchester put that wood fore-end on there. And this gun just feels, when you shoulder this gun, it feels like you've stepped back in time a little bit. Now, obviously, you've stepped back in time, but it's still a more modern time when it comes to firearms, because it wasn't much longer back, and you're looking at muskets, you're looking at muzzle loaders, you're looking at flintlocks. Now, we're not stepping quite back that far. We're just going back for the cartridge-fired guns. But something I've always wanted to do is, I started deer hunting when I was about First time I ever went deer hunting, I think I was 10 years old. I went one time. Been squirrel hunting since I was about 7. But my dad took me out because I wanted to go deer hunting really bad. He had never been deer hunting, so we literally just walked down through the woods and set up watching a creek for about 3 hours one morning. Never saw anything. But I had a ball. And I think that was, if I'm not mistaken, that was on the last day of firearm season that year. So I didn't get any more chances to deer hunt that season. It was kind of a spur of the moment thing. I'd got tired of squirrel hunting and wanted to try something new. So fast forward to the next year, and actually went a time or two. I saw a couple deer. Never could get a shot at a deer. I was 11 years old. I think we only went 2 or 3 times the next year because, like I said, nobody in my family was into deer hunting. But that year, my cousin got more into deer hunting, and he actually got a deer. So I got my first experience skinning a deer, gutting a deer, processing a deer, doing all of that. And then I slowly started watching Dan Fitzgerald movies. Back in the day, Down for the Count, Bad to the Bone, Passing Through, Corn Crazed Whitetails, all of those. And I fell in love with bow hunting. So I started bow hunting when I was 12. And I never killed a deer with a gun until I was 19 years old. I was actually homeschooled, so I had all the hunting time I wanted because I would just do my schoolwork at night, and I would hunt morning, evening, schoolwork midday. And I just never really rifle hunted much. I might rifle hunt 5 or 6 times out of the year, but I'd already hunted so much in the few spots I had that I'd killed 3 or 4 deer in bow season, and by the time gun season rolled around, most of them were nocturnal. And I still wasn't, you know, big on the gun hunting part. I liked bow hunting. But when I was 15, 16, I started getting into rifles more. I've had 5 or 6 different bolt action rifles. I've had 270s, 243s, 7mm Magnums, 308, 30-06s. I had so many different guns, 300 ultra mag, 300 short mag, all kinds of rifles over the years, all with scopes, all decked out, sighted in, inch height, 100 yards. If anything, walked out to 250, 300 yards. With my shooting ability, I felt extremely confident with it. And turned 19, killed several deer with a rifle, kind of got into gun hunting a little more because I'd already killed so many deer with a bow. It was exciting, but it was almost more exciting at that time to use a rifle because it was new to me because I had never actually killed a deer with a gun. So by this time, I'm 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm working full time, so I'm not hunting as much. So when I get to that age, the deer are less spooked. So come gun season, I'm getting shots at deer, actually taking deer. It's fun. And I hunt with a rifle, bow, muzzle loader, all the way through. But one thing I had never done, hunting, I always hunt. I love the deer meat. I love having fresh deer meat every year. But there was a few years in the last several years where out of the entire bow season, muzzleloader, and rifle season, I was probably only going out 4 times the whole year. Maybe shoot 1 deer, 2 deer. And I don't know, it just wasn't feeling as exciting anymore. Once in a while I'd get somewhere new to go, and that kind of put a spark back into it. But when I finally decided I wanted to break down and get one of my childhood guns, it kind of lit things back up for me. I cannot wait for this gun season. This right here, unless I get invited somewhere that's a big bean field or something like that, somewhere I've never been before, if I'm hunting the same spots I normally do, I'm wanting to go old school this year. So for rifle season, this is what I'm going to be carrying. I'm going to be carrying this rifle for the vast majority of rifle season. I'm going to be hunting mostly from the ground. A couple spots I'll be in a stand, but mostly I want to hunt from the ground. I want to do everything old school. I want to be as minimal as possible. I'm going to carry this rifle, and I'm going to carry my Uberti reproduction of the it's the 1875 Outlaw 45 long Colt. Also, it matches well with this gun. I'll be carrying that as my sidearm. I'll be carrying this as my rifle. I'll be hunting from the ground. I'll be setting up spots, scouting, doing everything minimal. I'm not worried about trail cameras. I'm not worried about anything fancy. I just want to get back to the tradition of grabbing a rifle, doing the legwork, going out, scouting, finding a spot, setting up, and taking a deer for the freezer with more of an old school way. This gun's got iron sights. There's not going to be a scope on here. Like I said, nothing fancy, but I just want to go old school, and it's really got me excited about this coming up gun season. And I just love looking at this gun. I know it's a little repetitive, but like I said, we're just out here talking. We're having a conversation. Have any of y'all ever had one of these, ever shot one of these? Any of y'all have old guns that are, I know this one isn't actually old, it's a new production of a old model, but I don't know, there's just something about it, just the way it feels. It's just, I don't know if it's nostalgia just from the old westerns. It just feels cool. It feels different. I still love my modern guns. I still love my ARs. I still love all the bolt action rifles I got. One of my favorite rifles I own is a 7mm Winchester Model 70. But there's just something about the thoughts of going back old school and doing away with the technology and everything else. It's just, I guess it's refreshing. It's gonna be a nice little break this fall and winter. So yeah, that's my goals this year. Is I want to take a deer with this. This gun means a lot to me. It's one of my favorite guns that I actually own. I really like this firearm. It's extremely accurate. Let's see, I got my earmuffs here. Let's throw a couple rounds through it. I don't know if y'all can see the steel from that angle, but I know y'all heard that. Sorry about the chickens. Something has angered the chickens. I think there is a dead possum right across the street in front of my house, and it's got a couple buzzards over there flying around, and every time a shadow hits anywhere over here toward the chickens, they think it's a hawk coming to get them, and they go crazy. So I think I think one flew over, and that's what caused them to go up. But as you see, the gun's accurate. You heard the steel. I just really like this firearm. And I cannot wait for this year gun season to kick off. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Now, what else do we want to talk about today? I'm gonna be doing some lives also for the Sundays and stuff after I get done recording the video. Just going on live and probably talk to y'all a little bit if y'all are interested in that. I'm gonna try to do some live videos. I've yet to do one of those, so it's gonna be new for me. First couple might be interesting because it's gonna be completely new to me, and I'm not the most technical savvy person that there is, and it's just me doing this channel. I'm doing the camera work, I'm doing editing all the videos, I'm doing all the uploading, I'm doing all the typing the descriptions, I'm doing all the social media, I'm doing everything there is to do on here. But like I said, I just wanted to hop on here because life is insane right now. There is so much stuff going on that I know it's been a month or two since I really did any content on here, so I wanted to do an update on that. I'm sorry about falling behind. Once again, I didn't have any new products right off the test. Every day that I was going to film, it started raining. The weekends, it was nice. I had to work. The afternoons, it'd be storming when I got off work, or I'd get off work and I'd have to go do something here, go do something there. I have to help my wife with her business. She runs her own business called the Crystal Spider, which she sells crystals, herbs, does tarot readings, all kinds of things like that. So she's constantly on weekends going to shows and doing festivals and doing online stuff. So I'm trying to help her with that. Plus I work 60 hours a week at my current full-time job and then rotate weekends. So whew, life is hectic. But I want to talk to y'all more. So some of y'all might like this format, some of y'all might hate this format, but I'm going to do a more talking oriented show every Sunday. It's going to have some kind of gun on there, like this one's the 1866. The next one, if I get a new gun, the next one might be based on that. Or we might be talking about one of my favorite bolt action rifles, or we might be talking about handguns, we might be talking about an AR build, might be sitting here tinkering, building an AR while I talk to it. But either way, on Sundays is going to be my day that I come out to the range, get away from the hectic world of my life, and film, basically. It's cool. You might see people join me sometimes. Hopefully I'll have Jonathan Humphrey from Pinnacle Outdoor Traditions out here to do some videos. You'll get us out here on the range cutting up, talking, maybe doing some drills, talking about his favorite guns, telling some hunting stories, telling some jokes, just kind of like a podcast, I guess you could say. Because I'm kind of going to talk about wherever the conversation leads. So we could start out talking about guns and end up talking about fishing. Never know. But I'll try to have on every episode, there will be firearms, something on every episode. We just might lead off into some other stories. We might lead off into some other topics. Big topic right now that everybody online is going crazy over is the North Carolina House and Senate had finally passed our version of a constitutional carry so that you could carry concealed without having to go through a permit process. They passed it through the House, it passed through the Senate, everything looked great for it, and as soon as it hit our governor's desk, straight vetoed. The people for the bill don't have enough support to have a supermajority, so there's no way to overrule the veto. So it's pretty much dead in the water right now. Which is expected. I know our governor, I didn't vote for him. I'm not a big fan of him, but as soon as they said it passed the House and Senate, I was like, he's gonna veto it. So I don't know why so many people are getting excited. It was not unexpected. I'm shocked that it passed because there was a couple of Republicans that defected and voted against it, but yeah, I knew it was going to get vetoed even if it passed everything. It's not a shock. Nobody should have been shocked at that. All we can do is fight for it and try to get it done again. And yes, I am for that. I am a huge Second Amendment supporter. I think it's probably our most important amendment because I do feel like it is what protects all of the other amendments. I don't think there should be restrictions such as if you want to carry a firearm. I don't think there should be a permit process. It's tricky. Once again, we're just talking here, so I'm going to be brutally honest with you. Are there some people that shouldn't? Yeah. There are people that probably shouldn't carry a firearm. But that's where freedom comes into play. You cannot have freedom and 100% safety. As a people, we can't be 100% free and enjoy our freedoms without there being a risk. And I'm the type person that I don't want to give up a freedom, something that was, I know they're called God-given rights. I know not everybody's religious. I'm not a religious person. I don't know what's out there. I don't deny religion. Could be right, could be wrong. I don't know what happens. But whether you say it's God-given, whether you say it's a birthright, whether you say, however you want to word it, the way the Constitution was written, it doesn't matter your religion, it doesn't matter your race, it doesn't matter anything. You have the right to keep and bear arms, and I 100% believe that. I think it was written with the intent that we are supposed to be on par with any government or standing army. I think the Second Amendment has been watered down over the years, and I think we've allowed it to happen. I think anything that a military person can handle and carry, we should have. And everybody wants to go back and say, well, these guns weren't invented back then, so that only applies to the guns of the day, which are muskets and this and that. But nobody thinks about the fact that when the Second Amendment was written, you could have cannons. They had repeating rifles back then. They had all kinds of stuff. People had their own military grade ships with cannons and everything else. It's not something that had a time limit on it. We were meant to be on par with a standard military, because if we ever needed to fight, we were expected to have our stuff and be well trained for it. Some people want to say it meant the National Guard. Some people want to say it's this. Some people want to say it's not. It's the people. The people as a whole, the right to keep and bear arms. So I do feel strongly for it. If that comes with a little bit of risk, so be it. It's not a lot of people like to say that. Freedom is risky, period. So, yeah. Is it horrible? Yeah, I wish everybody could be as safe as possible. I wish every person that ever owned a firearm had good intentions, but you can't guarantee that. But you also, just because somebody might do something, you can't fault the people that's not going to do anything. I'm 41 years old. I shot my first gun when I was 3. I've owned firearms, I've hunted, I've did everything my entire life. I've got more guns than I can even count right now. Same with almost everybody I know. We were all raised with firearms. This gun, my ARs, my pistol, everything else, they're not there for any evil intention. They have nothing. They're there. I use them for hunting. I use them for sport. I use them for all that. And everybody wants to bring up hunting with the Second Amendment. It has nothing to do with hunting. Having firearms for hunting is great. Second Amendment allows you to have the firearms for whatever you need it for. But it's written to protect and defend the country if the need arises from foreign invaders or tyrannical government takeover. It's there to do that. It's for the people to keep and bear arms so that they cannot be ruled by a dictator, so this country cannot fall apart. It's there to protect us. It's there to protect the actual Constitution. That's why it's there. So, enough on that rant. Bottom line is, I support constitutional carry, even though I am a concealed carry instructor and teach to get people concealed carry permits. It will completely put that part of my business out of business. So that's a whole income source for my family that will go away if it passes. I still support it because it's the right thing to do. The government can't control us like that. If you are an adult and want to own a firearm and carry it concealed, open, I don't care. I'm perfectly fine with it. Do I think you, on your own, should seek training? If you don't know anything about firearms, if you haven't grown up with firearms and you want to carry a firearm, yes, you should be responsible enough to go get training on that firearm. 100%. I highly advocate getting training if you don't know what you're doing. If that means watching a YouTube video and recreating it on a range until you figure it out and are safe, something. Everybody that owns a firearm does need to practice, if it's on their own or with a teacher, how to use the firearm. I wish every person that owned a firearm would go take a training class on handguns, go take a training class on rifles, on shotguns. Take it upon yourself and educate yourself so that you're not one of the statistics that make everybody else look bad. But I do not think it should be a government mandate. If it ever was a government mandate for training, one I could get behind, I wish they still taught firearm safeties in school. A lot of people think, oh, the school shootings and everything else, and it's just going to make everything. No, it's not. It's not. The more you know about firearms, the better. Are school shootings the number one cause of people dying? Are mass shooters the number one cause of people dying with firearms? No. It's usually something they did with safety. I wish we could teach that in gun class. Is that going to advance school shootings? No. Could that stop somebody that knows nothing about a firearm, a kid, from picking up a gun that they find on the street somewhere and accidentally shooting themselves with it? It very well could. So there was even this story with one of the school shootings where one of the kids that lived through the school shooting knew what gunshot sounded like because of his family shooting, and he knew to go and hide immediately. I know it sounds cold. I know it sounds callous. You can't have 100% protection. If you have gun-free zones, sorry, the truck's going by. If you have gun-free zones, be it a movie theater, be it a mall, be it a festival somewhere, anywhere, if you have gun-free zones, could that keep an accident from happening? And maybe a 1 in a million shot if somebody was being careless with a firearm. You don't really hear about that happening. But what it does do is give a place where anybody going to that place that is a lawful person, they're generally going to agree with that rule and not agree with the rule, but they're going to follow that rule and not carry a firearm. Well, somebody that intends on doing something horrible, like a mass shooter, that's where they're going to go. Most of the mass shooters knows they're not going to survive it. A lot of them even shoot themselves before they can get arrested. So they know the police will be there, but they also know it's going to take a few minutes. So they're going to go try to rack up as much as they can, as quick as they can, before they take themselves out or they get taken out. They already know how it's going to end before they even start it. So if they're willing to kill people, and they already have the mindset that they're not going to make it out of it, what good is that sign doing? Now, you don't hear about a lot because they stop them, but look at the one guy in the mall. He was carrying concealed, I think it was a SIG 365. Guy opened fire. Yes, a couple people got killed, but he was able to neutralize the shooter before it was 14 or 15 people killed. So if you can have responsible gun owners carrying in these places, it doesn't guarantee a mass shooting won't happen. It doesn't guarantee people won't get killed. But what it does guarantee is there's a chance. That's all anybody that carries a gun wants. They don't want to be the helpless victim that has to throw themselves in front of other people with no chance of fighting back to try and save somebody. They want a chance. That's it. People that carry a gun, they just want a chance to not be a victim. Is it still possible to get shot? Yes. You might be the first one shot before you even realize anything's going on. But if somebody has a firearm, there's a chance. That's why it's so important for people to train, to carry, and have the mindset of protecting themselves and others. You see, and people say, well, you're not trained enough, you're not this, you're not that. Most people that want to carry, normal citizens that want to carry a firearm, they might not go to instructors, but they probably at least shoot a lot. Even before I did YouTube channel, I shot once or twice a week since I was like 7. I know how to shoot a gun. I know how to shoot a multiple gun. You can set a firearm in front of me that I've never seen before. Give me a couple minutes to look it over, and I'll learn how to shoot it accurately and properly. It's just gun people know guns. Just like this recent shooting. It was at one of the protests. Two security officer or peacekeepers saw a guy taking a gun out of a backpack. They engaged him. They ended up firing, hitting him, but killed a bystander. Well, they're peacekeepers. If they are actual, I don't know if they're law enforcement, I don't know if they're security guards, but they had some kind of training, and it still didn't help. Training's not everything. It's a lot to do with mindset and knowing what's around your target. A lot of people that carry a gun for a living, police included, don't train. I work in armed security. There's like 3 of us that actually train regularly. Everybody else goes for a 6-hour class once a year to qualify. That's the way it is in North Carolina. If you're armed security in North Carolina, you have to qualify once a year. It's a 6 to 8 hour class, and you shoot from 3 to 25 yards. It's the same qualifications that police officers and everything else go through in North Carolina. Even though people carry a gun, you say only the police should have guns. Okay, on a police force, there might only be 10 or 15% of the police officers that actually train. Yes, they got to qualify, but they don't actually train. That's why you see these stories where 2 police officers unload 2 to 3 mags each and don't even hit a suspect. That's 15 to 17 rounds per mag, and they're dumping, and they're not hitting anything. They don't train enough for muscle memory. If you watch the guns, that barrel of the gun's going all over the place. You can tell when people train with firearms and when they don't. Yes, in stressful situations, you might go all over the place anyway. I'm not saying I'd be any better. But if somebody likes firearms and engages in firearm activities like shooting and practice and regularly doing these things, they do build up a muscle memory. Muscle memory is real. Stressful situation, your pulse goes through the roof. You get tunnel vision. Your body still remembers those classic actions: drawing, presenting, classic actions: drawing, presenting, drawing, presenting, drawing, presenting, drawing, presenting. It still remembers those. So when your motor functions are all haywire and your pulse is 200 beats a minute and you can only see a spot this big, your muscles are going to take over and you're going to do what you're supposed to do more often than not. So training is extremely important. As I said, I wish every person that wants to learn firearms would train. Some people will go get their concealed carry permit. That might be the only time they shoot in 3 years. If you're going to carry a gun, it needs to be a responsibility that you take upon yourself. But once again, I don't think it should be government mandated. I don't like the government intruding in people's lives when it comes to rights. I want to figure out a way to educate people and make them want to train. There's a difference in government mandating it and pushing to have people do something on their own. I am all for that 100%. But there's just no way that you can have freedom and 100% security. It's not going to have it. There's no way that you can get every case right as far as innocent or guilty. Everybody is considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Nowadays, it seems like you're either proven guilty or innocent through the news media. I know some people feel like people get away with things. Some people get arrested for stuff they shouldn't have. But I would rather 10 bad guys get off on something than to see one innocent person hindered and convicted of something. So anything that restricts the right of people, I do not agree with. Even if it makes them more safe, I don't agree with restricting the rights of the individual person just to make a overall feeling of safety. I don't agree with it, and that's why I'm such a proponent of the Second Amendment. I want everybody to have the right that they are born with to keep and bear arms. I don't think there should be regulation on barrel lengths. That makes no sense to me. If you can have a handgun, why can't you have a short-barreled rifle? Why is a AR pistol allowed, but if you put a stock on it, it's not allowed? It makes no sense. Why can't you have a short-barreled shotgun? You can have pistol shotguns, but you can't have a shotgun with a shorter barrel. It all makes no sense for me. It's over-regulated. I get a headache thinking about it. And I know there's people that disagree with me, and if you disagree with me on anything, say it in the comments. We'll talk about it. Everybody has a different perspective. I am big on the Constitution. I like freedom of speech, everything else. It's all important. But the one thing, how do you, if it came down bare bones, we now have somebody that, for example, everybody calls Trump a dictator now. We're doing a whole march called No Kings. If you really, truly believe he is working on becoming a dictator or a king, if that was true, if the government has become corrupted, he's running the whole thing, you fully feel like America's heading toward a kingdom or dictatorship. What's the one thing you have before the handcuffs are put on you and you're sent to a concentration camp? You have your Second Amendment rights. That's it. People say it can't happen. Nothing can happen like that. At the same time, they're screaming that we're being run by a king. I can't wrap my brain around this. You say we're being run by a king, but yet we have all of these rights to protect us. Just the simple fact that you're holding a sign up and able to protest that says no kings tells you that we don't have a king or a dictatorship, because in a dictatorship, you hold a sign up like that against the dictator, you're going to get arrested or killed. So just the simple fact that you can hold that sign up disproves the whole argument. Now, I don't want to get into is it right or wrong. If you don't agree with the immigration stuff, by all means, that is your right. I want you to do everything you can to follow what you believe. If you are for the current immigration policies, by all means, follow that, support it all you want to. People have the right to have different opinions, and it's perfectly fine, but it makes no sense to me. Anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent now. In the end, when it comes to all that, I know people that are Democrat, I know people that are Republican. I'm good friends with both. We can have a different opinion. I know people that are gay, I know people that are trans. I'm friends, literally, as long as you're respectful, We can go talk, we can have dinner, we can do anything you want to do. I'll tell you everything about why I feel the way I do. You can tell me why you feel the way you do, and we'll shake hands, have dinner, smile, laugh, joke, everything else afterward. I don't care if you're vehemently anti-gun and you want to see a cop walk up and rip this from my hands and carry me off to jail for owning it. You can want that, you can believe that, and you can feel that. I will still talk to you. We might not talk about guns because we're never going to agree on it. You're not going to change my opinion on guns. I'm not going to change your opinion on guns. It's not going to happen. If you are that dead set against it, just me talking to you is not going to change it. But you know what we can do? Maybe we both like metal music. Let's not talk about guns. Let's talk about metal. Let's talk about any kind of metal. We'll go old school. We'll go Slayer. You want to talk about new metal? We'll talk about Slipknot. You want to talk about Rammstein? We'll talk about Rammstein. I don't care. You want to talk about Norse paganism? We'll talk about Norse stuff. I love all the Norse stuff. Like I said, I'm not a big religious person. I don't technically follow anything. The Norse stuff is very intriguing to me. I love a lot of the outlooks for that. But it is, I'm getting off again. But movies, you hate guns. I love guns. But you know what? I bet you probably like the new Sinners movie if you like horror movies. Love Sinners. Sinners was a great movie. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about stuff that we have in common. Let's not talk about the stuff we don't have in common. We can't change that. We can vote for who we want to. We can even go march and protest for who we want to. But at the end of the day, whoever ends up in charge is the one controlling that. If I voted for it and they win, hey, that's great. Let's go back about our normal lives. Live the best we can. If they start doing something that infringes too much on right, I'll start disagreeing. Trump has done stuff I don't agree with. Republicans have done a lot of things I don't agree with. I'm not a big fan of the big beautiful bill. Like a few things in it, like the suppressor and short-barreled rifle thing, but there's so many things attached to that bill. It's ridiculous. We can agree on that. There's a lot of stuff in that bill I don't like. We'll talk about that. All I'm saying is we need to find more common ground and learn how to talk to each other without hating each other. It's really easy to do. If you hate guns, I don't hate you. You have a different opinion. You were brought up different than me. You see the world differently than I do. I was raised with guns from the time not big. I think my dad, when I was 3 or 4, I think he had like a .22 rifle, a shotgun, and I don't even think he had a handgun. But my grandpa had a couple single shot shotguns. I started squirrel hunting. We were a big hunting family. Always squirrel hunted, rabbit hunted. But I've grown up around guns. My love for guns came on my own. I just enjoyed, after shooting those, I wanted to shoot something else. I loved reading about the military weapons, the advancement of weapons technology, advancement of pistols, rifles, shotguns, whole 9 yards. I like any weapons, axes, bows, knives. It doesn't matter. Spear guns, blow guns, dart guns. I like them all. It's interesting to me. Swords, great. I love reading about swords, how the technology of the metal and everything else changed over the years, going from wood spears to steel to everything else. It's cool to me. But you probably grew up in a household that didn't have firearms. Didn't really know anything about it. Might have been afraid of them. You might have known somebody that was hurt with a firearm, gave you a bad taste in your mouth. You might have been around more major things happening with firearms that from an early age got you set that way. Everybody has a different path. Everybody sees the world differently. We're all individuals. We just got to not get locked down into that. I hate you because you don't agree with me. I don't hate somebody because they don't agree with me. You show me respect, I'll show you respect. People need to learn that more. I know almost everybody's probably quit watching the video by now, but I just wanted to talk. So here we are. So yeah, this is different from some of my videos. I just wanted to feature this, talk about that, talk about some other stuff, talk about the Second Amendment, talk about my views on things, let y'all get to know me a little bit more. You're probably going to see, I'm going to, like I said, Sundays, every Sunday is going to be Sundays at the range, where we're going to talk about guns and anything else the conversation leads to. Either on Tuesday or Wednesdays. Sorry, allergies are getting to me out here in the woods. A lot of pollen, a lot of dust. On Tuesdays or Wednesdays, I'm wanting to have a video that shows some kind of training technique. We might go over dry firing, we might go over proper sight alignment, we might go over holstering, reholstering, being safe, different ways to conceal carry, proper technique shooting a rifle, proper technique shooting a shotgun, proper stances, if you should have a weapon mounted light or not. We're going to go over some kind of training at least once a week. That'll be on either Tuesdays or Wednesdays. And then channel's making some money, which I love y'all's support for that. Thank you so much. I love making some money doing what I enjoy doing, and I like making these videos. It's buying some ammo, it's buying some things here and there. It doesn't have enough money for me to have a new product every week for y'all. I mean, I got bills, I got life, I got gas, I got groceries, and I only make so much money. But I'm gonna try to have a product to review, something, whether it's a gun, a flashlight, a knife, a scope, something. I'm going to try to have some kind of review for y'all every Friday. So if everything goes well with this new structure, we'll have Sundays on the range, we'll have training videos for either Tuesday or Wednesday, and maybe on Friday we'll have a product or a firearm review, some kind of review. We'll do something. But that's the structure I'm trying to get to. I'm wanting to get 3 solid videos up. I'll be releasing shorts. I might throw a random video in here and there. Once in a while, y'all might see a fishing video from me. I love to fish. I know it's not firearm related, but once in a while, y'all might see a fishing video from me. Y'all might see a hunting video from me. Y'all might see an archery video from me. Y'all might see knives, maybe knife throwing, stuff like that. So I want the main 3 things, and then I might be filling in some other stuff, because it's what I want to do. I mean, I want y'all to get to know me as well, so y'all see the things I like to do. Maybe we have some common interests. Let me know. Maybe y'all can teach me something I don't know about stuff. Love it when y'all comment. Please keep commenting. Please subscribe if you like the channel. Tell a friend. If you're local and want to come join me on the channel, maybe you watch a video and you only live a few miles away from Walkertown, North Carolina, contact me. You can reach me at in the comments. You can shoot me a message on Facebook. You can shoot me an email. Our email and everything's listed at mnhtraining.com. So you can always find me if you want to talk to me. Maybe I do a video on something and you're say I'm crazy. That's just not true, and you can prove me wrong. Contact me. You can come on the channel. We'll do a video together. If I am wrong, I will thank you for teaching me something new. I really will. I am not married to any ideas other than what works for me. But if you can teach me a better way, I have no problem changing my opinion on it. Like I said, the only thing that I will teach is what will work with everybody as far as basics. So I'll show you a proper grip. I will show you a proper stance. I will show you proper, by the book, how it should be. If I do something different, I will show you how I do it differently and why it works for me. Might not work for you. Might not work for Billy Bob down the street. It might work for John over here though. He might shoot the same way I do. So if I do a technique that doesn't work for you, let me know what your technique is. I want to see how it differs. I love seeing new ways people do things that work. So if you can show me what you do and show me that it works, I want to see it. if you've got a YouTube channel that contradicts something I say, post the link in the comments. I want to go see it. I'll go comment on your video. I'll watch your video. I'll give you my thoughts on the video and see what I think about it. So just let's talk. I enjoy it. But I don't know how long we've been talking on this one. This is probably going to be the longest video I've ever uploaded, and I enjoyed it. I don't expect this will get as much videos if I was just out here ping, 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 but it's just not what I was feeling today. And I'm getting ready to do, as soon as I get done with this video, I'm going to get a shotgun and going to go and do a review that's going to pop up. You know what? I might go ahead and release the video along with this one, just have a little more content on the channel. But I got to do a shotgun video on a Panzer M4. I just got one of those. Beautiful gun. Can't wait to try it out. I'm going to do a follow-up video on the SAR versus Glock. That should be a fun video. And since I have the Panzer M4, my buddy Tony just went out and bought the John Wick gun, the Benelli M4. So the Panzer is an M4 clone. Might do a video Benelli M4 versus M4 clone. That's going to be a fun video coming up. Going to be going over some archery stuff. Not only am I going more traditional on my rifle this year for hunting, I'm also going more traditional on my archery. I've got a longbow that I'm going to be hunting with most of the year this year. There's a few spots that won't really work, but for the most part, my goals this year is to get a deer with my longbow, get a deer with this. That'll fill my freezer. I'll be happy. And it's also a challenge. I'm all about, I want to challenge myself, because like I said, hunting had kind of lost its thrill. It went from just all I thought about to, oh, I need to go get some meat. Let me go hunting this evening. I should be doing this, but yeah, I'll go hunting this evening. It wasn't like I want to go. It was like, I do need meat. Let me go. I want to get back to wanting to get out there. I want to get outdoors. I want to have the challenge. And I think the feeling that I get thinking about prepping for this year is so much different than the last few years. I'm actually really excited to get out there. It's going to be a challenge. I'm limiting my shots. This is iron sights. So, I mean, 100 yards would be pushing it on this. So I'm going to hope all my shots are under 75 yards is what I'm hoping for. I know the 45 long Colt will do its job. I'm going to be hunting from the ground, which is another challenge because of scent, wind direction, the deer's vision, everything. In the fall, everything's going to be brown and there's not as much cover, so it's going to be a challenge. Recurve. I'm good with the bow. I will shoot my compound all day long out to 60 yards. I won't shoot at a deer past 40, but I will shoot out to 60 yards. I'm extremely confident with a compound bow. I've been shooting traditional bows just for fun in the yard since I was 10 years old, but I've never actually went hunting with a traditional bow. So this year, I'm confident with my traditional bow. I'm limiting my shots to 15 yards, and I'm going to be very disciplined on that. I do not want to risk wounding an animal. I will not shoot past what I'm comfortable. That 10 to 15 yards is the sweet spot. The spots I'm looking for, I'm going to be on the ground, recurve, as much cover as I can get, and try to keep all my shots under 15 yards. I feel extremely confident. We're going to do a video on the recurve shooting pretty soon. But that's how I'm challenging myself for deer season this year. And another thing is, let me stand up. Y'all have seen my other videos. As y'all know, I'm fat. I weigh way too much friggin' belly. I've finally hit a point to where I'm older. I'm 41 now, and I gotta lose some weight. So that's been the biggest challenge yet for me, is pushing myself to not give up on exercise, pushing myself to not give up on what I eat, and pushing myself to not go back onto soft drinks. I've completely cut out sugary drinks. and I've cut out, I would say, 90% of carbs. I've went no carbs. I've lost 15 pounds, so I'm very proud of myself for that. But it is so mentally exhausting trying to fight my brain to stay constant on this. So maybe my Sundays on the range video series, maybe it'll help keep me on track, because every Sunday I'm going to bring up how I'm doing on my weight loss journey here and just getting in better overall shape. I don't want to be skinny. I ain't worried about that. I was 297 pounds, and since all this I've kind of went down, went up, went down, went up. I'm currently sitting at 280 pounds, and if I could get back down to 220, man, that would be amazing. So 200, 220 is my goal, and just to be in better shape, because I want to be able to do more fishing in the mountains. I want to go trout fishing. I want to be able to hike the rivers and stuff and fish. I want to be able to go deer hunting and not have to worry about, well, dang, I can't get my vehicle all the way in. I'm gonna have to walk an extra half a mile. I don't want to worry about all that. If I want to go hunt a game land and walk 3 miles in, I want to do it without being so out of breath it feels like I'm having a heart attack. So this is something I've got to do to make myself happy, and I'm gonna do it, hopefully with y'all's support. I know this is a mental thing and it's 100% on me, but any support I get on that, it just helps me stay motivated. It's been a couple weeks since I started all this, 3 weeks actually, so I'm on the right track. I just got to stick to it. But that's enough talking on this video. We've talked long enough. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed this segment. I hope y'all stick with me. They're all not going to be this long, I promise you. I just got carried away talking on this one. But Sundays are going to be more talk. We're going to feature some kind of firearm or something firearms related. We're going to talk about it. I might have guests coming in, but either way, Sundays we're going to talk. We'll have at least, hopefully, one product review, whether it's a weapon, whether it's a sight, scope, anything like that, on Fridays. We're going to have some kind of training on Wednesday or Thursday, or Tuesday or Wednesday. So that'll be solid videos all week for y'all to check in with me. We'll have random stuff pop up here and there that I get a chance to do, and y'all can just kind of follow me around doing the things I like to do, and hopefully I can teach y'all a little stuff along the way. Hopefully y'all can teach me a little stuff along the way, and we'll all be better off for it. So thank y'all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. So yeah, I think that wraps it up for this episode. As I said, I am Josh Mabe with M&H Training. This has been the first episode of Sundays on the Range. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I hope y'all stuck around and I wasn't too annoying, but I'm just being me now. I'm not trying to act any certain way. You're just, from now on, you're gonna see Josh Mabe. So here I am. Hey. Y'all have a glorious day.